What's up, everyone? Welcome back. And what a crap fest in the world again today, with a possible nuclear bomb being thrown to all the way to having a ceasefire, which only lasted for a couple of hours. So let's talk about all that. Let's talk about the stuff I've been buying, what I think we should anticipate for, and let's just get into it. All right. So, as I just said, last night I went to bed, and for me, around the deadline to the ceasefire for the inevitable ceasefire was 2 a.m. for me. So I went to bed. I also had a little bit of trouble in the family, so I was really tired. So I went to bed, hoping for the best. Initially, I believed that happened. So I woke up and we had a ceasefire. Everything was good. Everything was going according to plan, as far as there was a plan. Let's be real here. But yeah, it only lasted for a couple of hours. The ceasefire, the deal they made in of itself, honestly, was just really, really bad. I mean, you can, of course, Donald Trump and all of MAGA and every blind news station in America is going to keep claiming that it's a win, or it was a win, or whatever you want to call it. But honestly, the terms were much worse off than before. And honestly, like, there was no regime change. The people responsible were still in power. Do I think those people have the best interest for their people at hearts? Of course I don't. But there might have been a better option than just torpedoing all the world's economies, gas prices, everything afflicted with that strait being closed, because it's not just gas. We're going to see higher prices on groceries, even higher prices on groceries. We're going to see higher prices for energy, gas, oil, gasoline, diesel, everything. Everything is going to go up, and it's going to continue going up because not just running costs go up, speculating, and these are publicly traded assets. They're also going to keep pushing those prices higher. So yeah, this obviously will continue to have an effect. What I do think was good, that when we saw the ceasefire happen, we saw prices finally beginning to stabilize, starting to go up a little bit, and that did prompt me to buy quite a bit of assets today. They were all way down, so I'm not worried. Most of the buys I placed were dollar cost averaging buys anyways. So even if we do go a little bit lower than now, not worried, because I think most of the bottoms have been hit. And if not, these are all assets I have faith in will stabilize and will outlast Donald Trump, for one thing. That is good. And hopefully we all do as well. So in and of itself, eventually prices will come back. But yeah, I did place a couple of buys, but I wanted to just get this point across, because honestly, I cannot believe people are claiming it's a win. If you see, this was the deal in place before they attacked. So it was open for free, limits uranium enrichment. And don't forget that Donald Trump also pulled out of that Iranian nuclear agreement, which Donald Trump pulled out of that agreement, which President Obama put into place at that time. So that was the whole reason that the nuclear danger started escalating again. So that was already monumentally stupid. But honestly, now it only opened for $2 million a ship, which would net them insane amount of money. There's 800 ships right there waiting currently. Maybe 10 ships pass through, but around 800 ships are still waiting before the entrance of that strait. So it's just insanity. But they make no guarantee on limit of uranium enrichment, makes no guarantee of no nuclear weapons, makes no guarantee to allow international inspectors. I mean, this is just stupidity. As always, stupidity masquerading as strength. It's just honest to God, it's so stupid. But yeah, we have to deal with it. We're talking about it every single day, and I cannot wait for the day for that to be over. But yeah, it's what we have to deal with. That being said, like I said, crypto prices still up a little bit. Honestly, I would have expected them to fall harder. It's not as bad yet. I do think it's going to take like what is the reaction, because Iran attacked Lebanon, and Iran attacked by attacking Lebanon. Apparently, they also hit Iran somewhere, so Iran closed the strait again and is going back on that said peace agreement or ceasefire, whatever you want to call it. So now I think we're gonna have to see the reaction. Like, what is the next step? Like, if it's not too bad, if it's just fog of war and just a little bit of like maybe a few reckless splinter cells firing missiles, rockets, whatever. If they do get Netanyahu in order and they complete that ceasefire and everyone starts agreeing, then I expect prices to go further up. So I still think that buying around these prices was a good idea. I still think that is a valid option. And like, we are almost down. Well, it's a little above now, but we're down roughly like 40 to 45% from the all-time high on Bitcoin. And on a lot of the altcoins as well, if not more, because I also bought altcoins on which I was, well, on the last buy was down a little bit more than the 55%. Coins which I hadn't really DCA'd into yet, or did, but not a lot. So I figured let's place a few solid DCA buys. Also, I bought a lot more stocks and metals. So I will go through that list in a little bit. That will be a little bit of a freebie, because that is all available in my Discord as well, which I will pull up in a little bit. But in of itself, the crypto market for now is okay. I think the whole world, because this is all relatively new, we're still waiting to see what's going to happen, waiting to see where prices are going to go. And I think the market is still a little waiting on that. Like, stock markets are about to close, and I think we'll see the effects tomorrow, but also dependent on what happens between Mark Rutte, our former prime minister in the Netherlands, but also the head of Nato. He is having a meeting with Donald Trump, because apparently Donald Trump wants to pull out of Nato, which he technically should not be able to do, because he needs 2/3 of the Senate to agree with him, which technically he should not have a 2/3 majority. Granted that enough Americans still have, or enough American senators still have common sense, but they would need a lot of Democrats, I think, as well, to be able to push that decision through. And I don't see that happening, especially because NATO was originally founded to also benefit America heavily, because that's where all the trade with America came from. So that's how America bounced back from the Second World War as quick as it did, because it managed to recoup all its cost. And even the European armory, the weapons, tanks, planes, everything we used to buy mainly American. Because of Donald Trump, we've started to shift away from that, and we're moving orders away. So, but with all that, I mean, it's massively beneficial to the US to be in NATO, to keep those trade agreements in place. So it's complete insanity to push away from this, for both our sakes. But honestly, yeah, I hope those stocks go well. I hope there's some sense of normalcy coming up in this, but all we can do is respond. And as traders, the best thing we can do is, when we do see another big correction on maybe Bitcoin, let's say it does drop to 50K, 100% I'm buying Bitcoin. I don't think that will happen. It could happen. I don't think that will happen. I think we've bottomed out around the 60, 70,000 mark, pretty much, at least for now. And I do think, like, in a year or maybe 2 or 3, when Donald Trump his term is up or whatever, I do think we will see much higher prices again, because through inflation, money printing, etc., there will eventually more money will be available, and we'll see another upshift out of this bear market for crypto, and not just for crypto. I do believe the same will happen on stock markets, on metals, on commodities, etc., on oil, maybe even though oil is quite high right now, and it did correct itself earlier today. Oil did have a relatively big reaction, but I imagine with the Strait now closed again, that will reverse and it will go up again. But yeah, I think a lot of stuff is happening. Maybe we aren't aware of everything, but Yeah, that's it. That's how it is. All right, but let's grab my Discord really quickly. So as I said before, this is my Discord, and it is completely free. The link to it is in the description down below. It is also on the main page of my channel, so be sure to check that out. And if you like my channel, if you like the content, the stuff I talk about, yeah, do me a massive favor and hit that like and the subscribe button. And yeah, help me grow the channel and help me help you, help each other to become financially independent, because that's why we're all doing this. All right, so what I did today was I bought more, well, Energy Fuels SCCO Southern Copper, because I do still think that that remains valid. Like, I've done a video a while back called The Future of Investing. I still think that's valid. This war, even Donald Trump is just a small speck on the timeline of trading. If we zoom out at the chart and we look at year over year over year, all assets, all fundamental assets grow along, and the need for copper, the need for AI, the need for computing power, the need for these base materials is growing exponentially. Populations are growing exponentially, countries are growing exponentially, and especially true with digitalization of everything. And imagine the use we're now getting out of AI. Imagine, like, AI is still in its infancy. Like, this is gonna continue to grow exponentially over the years, and it's picking up the pace. So eventually, we're gonna need so much copper in everything. I genuinely believe that we are gonna have massive copper shortages eventually. So yeah, that's the reason I bought that. Similar reason for silver, also a highly conductive material. Also used for jewelry, of course, but I do think the silver need for conductive materials, stuff like that, is gonna massively outweigh it. S&P 500 ETF, once again, stock market. I think the S&P 500 is one of the strongest ETFs or index funds around, and there's an ETF that tracks it, which also pays a small amount of dividends, by the way. But I believe holding a piece of the market, or at least something that tracks it, to such an accord, having the 500 top performing companies in America, especially now, I think is a valid, one of the most valid assets to have. Like, I hold more, I have multiple index funds, but I do think this is one of my favorites. And we can people complain about Joe Biden, but every year I held it with Joe Biden, I made over 20% just holding it, or holding and buying it, but still over 20%. And Donald Trump halved that to 10% over the last year. Year before that was a little better, but still 10% over year, with no risk of being liquidated. Technically, it could, if all 500 companies go bankrupt and it goes to zero, yes, you could lose everything. Highly unlikely for that to happen unless America is wiped off the map, which honestly seems more likely to happen, but also I do not think will not happen, not in our lifetimes at least. So very valid asset to me to have, and this is a stock which I held in my portfolio from the beginning, and I've just did a little bit of a DCA buy into it, and it's used in oil and gas infrastructure. Had a big correction down, so I thought a good time to level that downturn out. But I believe that will reverse in the future as well, because even though we have clean energies solutions, not entirely yet, oil and gas is still, as evident today, is still massively used in all our infrastructure. So I think a very important asset to have, or sector to hold. And it doesn't have to be this stock, but I do think it's an important stock to hold. Other than that, I bought a little bit of BTC. I bought a little bit of little bit of KASPA, which is also massively corrected down. I figured that'd be a good time to DCA, because I do believe in the network. It is Luna Classic. Obviously, I've done a lot of videos about Luna Classic. Definitely DCA'd into that as well as SUI. I don't do a lot of content about SUI, but I've held SUI for a long time, made a lot of profit on SUI in all honesty. So I still think that it's a solid network. It's similar to KASPA-ish for me. Not the technology, but it's a network. It's trying to be its own thing. It's similar to being like its own version of ETH and Solana, etc., etc. So I figured it is a small network. It has a big use case and it has a relatively small market cap. Even if it goes back to its old all-time high, there is a massive upside potential. So another one I think has staying power, and I bought for that reason. So this is the stuff I've bought today or in the last couple days. I wanted to do this video sooner, but my when my mother was in the hospital, won't elaborate on it. So I had a little bit of off time, but I wanted to put this video out there anyway, and yeah, share what I did. This is all in my channel. I talk about this. You're free to ask me questions about it as well. So be sure to check that out. I am going to close out the video on this, guys. Once again, if you like the content I put out, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. And let's hope we have a ceasefire in the next couple days and we all start printing massively, and our DCA buys put us in an even bigger profit. All right, I'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace.